All right, MMA Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Split Decision, your weekly MMA podcast brought to you from the Ruloff Family Studios. Bueller and Dodge at the mics, ready to give you some MMA news, break down the MMA fight cards and things of that nature. Gene joining us in here from Team VooDoo to talk fight business and see what he has going on over there. And, of course, there's a lot to go over today.
Yeah.
A lot
of things to talk about.
And I'm kind of thrown off right now because Dodge is standing on his strongboard from strongboardbalance.com. Change the way you work out. Get on board, strongboardbalance.com. How is it?
It's pretty awesome.
Is it pretty awesome?
There's a lot of movement in this thing.
There's a lot of movement.
Yeah. My core is engaged.
So Dodge is standing on this thing, and he's looking down upon me.
He's actually been on it for like 20 minutes
Has
now.
he really?
Yeah, he's been on it since I got here.
Yeah, well, I mean,
credit.
Dodge works out. I'm fat and I'd fall off of it.
Works out.
The problem is Dodge is looking down at me, and my microphone is dick level for him at this point in time. And I've seen a lot of porn, so I'm very uncomfortable right now.
This is not the first time this has happened. Don't try to lie to these people.
Micro porn.
Just let it happen. We're getting a picture taken of it right now. That's fan-fucking-tastic.
It does the work.
Luckily, there's a Jaeger bottle hiding the twigs and berries. The giblets.
Strongboardbalance.com. Make sure you check that one out one more time. Strongboardbalance.com. Gene wants one, actually.
I want them sent to my house right now.
Yeah, Gene wants to get on board.
Thing I ever saw.
Yeah, I want to
get on board,
I'm
man.
going to take a picture under the table. Don't worry, it's not an upskirt. I'm getting a picture of your feet.
It's going to look like a hobbit standing on this thing. You don't want to see a picture of my feet, man.
That's what I was thinking earlier.
Also, check out mymmanews.com.
And mymmanews.com.
Yes, sir.
And give them some love.
It's our second home.
It's our second home, mymmanews.com. Check us out on Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes. Tell your friends to get the Facebook Split Decision MMA podcast. Give us a like there, or follow us on Twitter and Instagram at SD_MMA. With all that said and done, let's get underway as we start talking about
all kinds of stuff, man. We got fights coming up. We got fight announcements.
Right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Got some really
all right. So June 20, or excuse me, yeah. Let's see.
August 23rd.
Yeah, it was supposed to. Yeah, this fight was supposed to happen June 27th. It's now going down August 23rd in Saskatoon. Right?
Saskatoon.
Saskatoon?
Saskatoon. There you go.
Canadian. That's probably how it sounds.
Yeah, it's
It's Saskatoon, eh?
Nikita
Saskatoon,
Krylov and Marcos Rogerio de Lima.
Okay.
Got that.
The headline is going to be Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira do Bronx.
Well, I'm glad they rescheduled this because I can't tell you how disappointed I was on June 27th when Nikita Krylov and Marcos Rogerio de Lima did not fight.
Were you upset about
I
that?
was very upset about it. So thankfully they have rescheduled the fight between them on August 23rd.
We have some more fights for the Japan card that is going down September 26th. This is going to be headlined by Josh Barnett and Roy Nelson.
Wait, you said Japan?
Yes.
This makes sense then. Yes.
Yeah. So Josh Barnett, Roy Nelson, we're going to have...
Just once when they do a fight in Japan with heavyweights like Josh Barnett and Roy Nelson or people of that nature, just one time, can we get the ring, the Pride ring, and just set up a small fucking city in there and just have them fight over there? I mean, it could be Foam City, so it doesn't hurt them if they fall.
Why don't you play the Godzilla theme?
Yeah, it would be awesome.
And one guy comes in as Mothra.
No, the ref is just dressed as Mothra. The ref has wings.
Yeah. Josh would be Godzilla.
And then you bring out a midget and it's Godzuki.
And then Dana White goes all Mecha Godzilla.
So taking on, we got, let's see, Jingling Lee going up against Kichi Kunamoto, Kid Yamamoto against Matt Hobar, and then Kyoji Horiguchi is also expected to compete. We do not have an opponent yet.
Oh, man, Japan just splooshed.
Yeah, not only that, Musashi against Ronan Carnero.
Yeah, I like Musashi. Man, I've seen that kid before in Japan and seen him a few times in Europe, and he is...
Yeah, Musashi, I mean, he's a household name in Japan, too. Didn't he fight in Dream?
Yes, did
Yeah,
fight
he fought in Dream.
Was-
He's from Fedor's camp originally.
Was Fedor's camp, yeah.
Yeah, so
Or at least trained with him a couple times.
that's a Japan Dream card. It's like a throwback Thursday for him.
I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be some good stuff. Renzo Gracie is injured.
Are you going to break out your Pride shirt for that?
I might. I got my Pride hoodie, my Pride t-shirt.
Pride never die.
I got my Japanese MMA shirt. Yeah,
Of course.
Renzo Gracie is injured and will not be taking on Matt Hughes at Abu Dhabi.
Bummer.
I'm kind of bummed. I mean, you know, all those times I watch Abu Dhabi.
I just think it would have been fun to see a rematch of them from when they fought in the UFC.
Yeah.
You know, but grappling in Abu Dhabi.
No punching.
Just fun nostalgia.
Is it bad to say that I'm just upset I won't see the highlights?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's kind of where I was leaning too. Just didn't want to be upfront about it.
The USADA physicians announced now that you can no longer use IVs after weigh-ins to replenish your fluids.
How are you gonna regulate this?
They're going to check you for track
They
marks.
will check.
Well, they can
track
check
marks,
it for
man.
insulin.
They can. They're going to check.
I mean, head to toe, because there's multiple places to put.
Oh, I know. I shoot up
line.
in my ass all the time.
one of the fighters, Anthony.
We still talking about an IV?
Anthony Burchek said he was against this. He's very unhappy that this is happening. He knows guys that take anywhere between 3 to 4 bags just to get back on weight. That's how much weight they're cutting. My thing is maybe you shouldn't be cutting that much weight.
No, and the weight cutting thing has gone back and forth for a really long time. And that's why I don't hate the idea of same-day weigh-ins. I know initially it would be very difficult for a lot of guys who are in fighting in weight classes. They probably shouldn't be in anyway.
It'd be like a nuclear bomb to the weight classes.
It would, but at the same
Basically,
time...
what they're by the way, how they're going to test this real quick, what they said right here is that they're going to do it by urine tests because the plasticides that are inside the IV bags will be in your urine post.
See, no, it's the same thing when they
So
do drug
when they-
testing and they find masking.
And that's what he said. He goes, "This is what they're actually doing." Find guys who are blood packing and blood doping. However, now they're also going to be checking to see if you've been using an IV in general. If you have, you can be fined. Again, this does not start until September 1st. There is a grace period. However, no longer allowed to use IVs post weigh-in.
My whole thing with same-day weigh-ins is just that it cuts out a lot of the danger of weight cutting.
Yeah.
You know, and they already do it in jiu-jitsu competitions.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't know about with kickboxing.
Buy stock and
what do they do?
Pedialyte. That's all I can tell you. Buy stock and Pedialyte.
Gatorade. Is it
Gatorade.
in you?
Lots of Gatorade.
Not Powerade, though.
The Culinary Workers Union Local 226. This is the crazy union out
they're
of
back
Las
at it
Vegas.
again.
Back at it again. This time they're trying to block a fountain that the UFC is trying to build in front of their building.
What?
UFC is trying to build a new set of headquarters, and there is a fountain that they're going to be building there. They are trying to block it, saying that we are trying to conserve water, and the UFC is being wasteful by adding a decorative fountain to their headquarters. The UFC countered, as well as the Clark Government Center said it is not just a decorative fountain. It is actually a cooling tower that they're going to be using to make decorative so it doesn't look like a cooling tower.
Since when do these guys dictate what
Well,
you
no,
build
it's
in front of your
the local
place?
226. They're like that crazy ex-girlfriend that, like, when you move on with your
Right.
life and you're happy, she still has to try to fuck things
Like
up for
those
you.
handicap hoppers, ones that looks for the places that are all screwed up. Or
Right,
Yeah,
right,
1 inch
exactly.
off of,
Yeah.
But their main goal is to try to shut down the UFC.
They're just trying to shut down the
Really?
UFC any way possible.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, no, their main goal is that the station casinos need to become unionized.
right. And, if
And
that, but if
by shutting down the UFC, they can make that happen. They're saying if you unionize your casinos, we'll stop with all this other crazy stuff.
that's
Otherwise,
true,
we're going
which
to be paying the
is
ass.
dumb because one has nothing to do with the
No,
other.
they don't, but that's how they think.
This is how we see it, by the way.
Yeah.
I still think the 226 is a crazy ex-girlfriend.
None of that you just heard was fact. That's
Everything
how
is fact that
we
comes
see
over
it.
This show is a show based on opinion.
Exactly.
This should be our default.
Because, I'm not scared of many people, but unions.
They're going to shut down the podcast if we're not union.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
messing with a longshoreman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Josh Koschek is out of the UFC and now signed with Bellator. This happened over last weekend.
That's good.
He says he can take his handcuffs. He doesn't have to be tied to the UFC rules, restrictions, and underground rules. He's allowed to do and say whatever he wants now.
Quit getting in trouble, you won't get cuffed.
What's his
What does he
nickname?
want to do that
What's
he
your
couldn't do in
nickname
the
for him?
Huh?
What's your nickname?
Oh, win?
Josh, no check.
Exactly.
No check.
No check?
No check.
Yeah, he's allowed to kick people in the balls now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Why
would've
not?
been-
Cavemen did it. I mean,
What
Yeah.
can you do in Bellator that you couldn't do in the UFC?
It would have been
Wear your
cooler.
own T-shirt.
It'd have been cooler if he
Too
dressed
soon,
up like
dude. Too soon.
get away with a lot of
Yeah.
losses.
He should have dressed up like Pinocchio and cut the strings.
Yeah, right.
Koschek string.
Oh, my God.
Speaking of Bellator, they've also signed Titan FC heavyweight champion Chase Gormley.
I'm not correcting you on that one.
I was trying to say Gromley, and then I realized that the O or the R comes after the O. Gormley.
Okay, and I just want to do this for anybody keeping track of. Where does Titan FC fall in all this now? It goes UFC, Bellator. Would you say Titan next or World Series of Fighting?
I'd say World Series.
I'd say
World
World
Series.
Titan's going to be
And
underneath.
Titan. Where's RFA?
Below that.
Below that. What about King of the Cage?
No, what about
Way
one?
below that.
One FC's at one.
One
You got to give
One.
King of the Cage one credit. They've been around forever.
They have been around forever.
And they've maintained, even though it's small scale now.
But they even say
forever.
that they are the
That
launching
making
pad.
what sophomore can support.
No, remember when I talked to him on the phone, he got all pissed off when I referred to them as a feeder.
Who was that?
The guy who runs
King of the Cage.
King of the Cage.
Oh, you're talking about.
He doesn't think the King of the Cage is a farm league.
No.
He doesn't see it like that.
That's fine.
His kid fought in Ultimate Fighter like
Yeah.
11.
Didn't make it.
Yeah, you know what? I like to think that this is a professional podcast.
Farm League at best.
Yeah,
Farm League. We don't
Triple
even
A,
have
single
showers.
A, we double A.
What's the lowest one?
Jocelyn, yeah.
I think it's single A summer league. That's not a joke. A short season. Single A short season.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say we're that low because we have nice equipment.
It's true. So we're single A, right?
Okay. I'll let you have it.
So Gormley's going to join the ranks of the other heavyweight fighters in Bellator,
Yes.
like Chet Congo and people of that nature. Which
Yes.
I mean, cool if
Bobby
Bellator,
Lashley,
if they can keep
Vitaly
going.
The thing about
Nikonov.
Bellator is, they may be grabbing up. They say people grabbing up all the UFC's dump stuff.
They got Melvin Gillard now. They got Phil
But
Davis.
they're getting guys who actually will get out there and put out pretty good
Put a show.
fights.
For sure.
Yeah.
Against cans, though.
Hey, I don't know.
Sometimes it's
somewhere.
fun.
Or restart
Sometimes
somewhere.
it's like running around in GTA and beating up hookers, dude.
You're not going to complete the game that way, but it's fun.
Yeah, sometimes you don't want to do the fucking mission. Sometimes it's more fun than the mission, and you can get your money back.
What do you? What's the salary cut?
For beating up hookers?
No.
I don't think anybody other
Going-
than
going-
whatever
going
they
to-
drop,
That was an ad. too.
Going from Bellator, going from UFC to Bellator.
All
Well,
depends on your
he's definitely-
negotiation of the contract.
Really?
Yeah.
They will pay.
Obviously, they were going to pay because they're going to pay Gilbert Melendez to switch over.
I see money out there, and it all depends.
And he got
on
one
how
of the best
you
deals in the
negotiate. Plus,
UFC.
you got Scott Coker
And,
in there.
well, how
He's
many,
probably one of the
fights-
smartest things they ever did was getting Coker in with them.
Right.
That was a great thing. And if you negotiate right, and you are what you're worth, I firmly believe that, and I've always said.
I mean, has anybody seen Bjorn lately? Anybody even heard from him?
No, dude.
He's like
fell
dropped
off
off
the
the
map.
planet.
I tweeted him. He never got back to me.
It's kind of like his dad.
That happens a lot on
The Winnebago Man was his dad. You know that, right?
Yeah, no, we talked about
It's
that.
creepy.
But how many fights did Josh Koschek have under the Zuffa umbrella?
His entire career?
Right, so a lot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come off Ultimate Fighter 1,
Yes.
and he's been fighting with the UFC ever since, so he's giving up that Reebok money.
But now he can wear his own stuff.
But he can get his own sponsors, and he's a recognizable enough name to where he can probably get a legit sponsor for a fight or two. But that's
He was from Dethrone.
He's-
I mean, he had dethroned quite a bit.
yeah, holy crap, that's a lot of red.
There you go. 27 matches, all in the UFC. 17 wins, 10 losses.
Yeah, so that puts him up there as far as the UFC pay, or the
And
Reebok pay
he
scale goes.
he's coming off 5 straight losses.
But he says he cut his own ties to the UFC. They didn't cut him.
Actually, he was 4-0 going to the UFC. Or excuse me, he was 2-0 going to the UFC.
Yeah, so 25 fights in the UFC,
Yep.
that's good Reebok money at that point in time.
Yep.
That's surprising. Yeah. But they
I
must,
mean, they were going to give him his own jersey. Or kit.
Hey, maybe his would have been spelled right.
We'll get to that in a
not
moment.
according to your name for him.
No check.
We'll get to that.
A few less letters, cheaper to print.
So, surprise!
Oh, man.
Surprise! UFC Fight Night 71. Everybody's getting tested for out-of-competition drugs.
That's not unusual.
How is that a surprise if they're announcing it? Just saying.
Maybe they caught wind of some shit and they're like, hey, everybody in 71 might want to check your shit out, bro.
An announcement for it, but
Right?
right now the regular thing has been constant testing, not just for MMA, but boxing, kickboxing,
Yeah.
matches, pro kickboxing matches too.
I mean, with the stuff coming out with Anderson and
Nick?
I'm surprised to find out both of them were tested obviously 6 times,
Yeah.
3 times before and 3 times after.
And only half of them were
that
positive.
to me,
Well, yeah, and
Only
that's,
one test from each of them failed?
well, yeah, and absolutely no consistency.
And no
because
consistency.
both middle tests were the ones that were bunk.
see that just doesn't work right now because I've seen these tests and I mean they are so consistent and professional the way they're done, and they're not just going to throw junk out there. There's something in between.
Right.
Something rotten in Denmark.
Right.
I don't even know what that saying means.
But you like saying it.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. I stole it from
Yeah.
Foley. It's the first time I said
Yeah.
it, but I just thought I'd try it on for size.
Yeah. Denmark, actually. That's a great red light district.
I wouldn't touch a cliche with a 10-foot pole.
So So obviously the big news that happened this week, there's two things. Number one, Jose Aldo is out of his fight with Conor McGregor at UFC 189, which is happening this Saturday, by the way.
Yep.
Uh,
I wanted to see that so bad.
This upcoming, it's a week from Saturday, right?
A week from Saturday, excuse me. Yeah, a week from Saturday.
This is why when they made all those big fight announcements, the fight calendar for the the year and stuff like that, we talked about it briefly. Obviously, we know fighters get hurt and stuff like this happens, but man, the UFC hasn't learned yet that they can't. You pre-promote something. You have this chance of happening all the time, and they spent more money on the promos for this fight
than any fight in history. They said.
Just imagine what they put into. I mean, especially the promotional value.
They said this is the most expensive fight they've ever promoted. This is the one that they promoted the most and put the most money in.
Yeah.
Well, look at that one commercial they had where they had all those people on the streets of Vegas come up. So now you know.
We had the numbers on that, right?
Yeah, it was the most expensive promo UFC, and they've done two. They've done two of the most expensive promos they've ever done for this fight. Now all those hurt, and the UFC is trying to goad him into fighting anyway.
Well, they said originally it was a bruised rib. This was the UFC doctor saying that his diagnosis was a bruised rib, and that everyone was basically saying you should fight because other fighters have fought with bruised ribs before and been fine. He was also granted immediate rematch. He was granted a bunch extra money, all these different things. His doctor says, no, it is a broken rib. They have the x-rays. They put him up on Twitter. They've sent him over to the UFC. They've sent him to everybody. He is backing out of this fight 100%. He said, there's no way I'm going to tarnish my legacy. I don't fight for the money. I fight for my fans. I fight for my legacy. I fight,
Is this is the actual like MRI or something like that? I never. It's creepy looking, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that shit got that detailed. That's hella creepy. Well, that's something out of a horror film.
That's an MRI.
MRI scan,
not standard X-ray.
No, I get that.
So
I've never
he says,
seen ribs on an
what?
MRI. It looks like something out of a horror movie or a
He
haunted
says,
house.
Doing them, right?
My opponent who told me to step up and fight like a man, I can't say anything about a man that imitates a TV series character. That's really all he wanted to do. He imitates his lines. He imitates his style, his tattoos. He's an artist, but not from martial arts. He's a cheap comedy. I will not be disrespectful with the actor, only with real athletes. And then he says that if he beats Chad Mendez, the only thing he'll have is a toy belt to show his drunk friends in his country's bar.
Well, he beat up his dad. He said so.
Because that's what interim belt means to me. It's a toy. I am the real champion.
Nice. I didn't know that he was copying somebody from Vikings.
They said that he looks very much like an actor from Vikings, including the tattoos. I think we talked about this last.
I always thought he was
ago.
Mickey from Snatch.
Yeah.
That's Brad Pickett, sir.
Yeah, Brad.
That's Brad Pickett.
Very can't the truck.
So, and then the big thing that happened right before they announced that Jose Aldo would not be fighting and Chad Mendez is stepping into fight again for the interim title is the UFC's fight kit. Okay,
you can't just you gotta unleash the beast with it. You gotta let him hear the beast. Are we gonna hear the?
We're gonna hear some of the wub wub.
Yeah, we gotta hear.
I don't know if we can legally play the wub wub.
Yeah, we could.
I mean, it's just
maybe if you don't play too much.
No, it's just it's
a fashion
It's
show.
funny when you
is
say
what
fight
happened.
cake, I kind of think they give you a toothbrush.
Is that Misha Tate?
Yes.
So they actually had to have fighters come out and model this stuff?
Yeah, what was funnier is backstage they were wearing robes, and somebody walked by and go, oh, the ring card girls are here. Because they didn't want any of the press to see their outfits, their kits. These are called fight kits. They're not jerseys because they're not worn in the cage. I mean, the shorts will be, but obviously the tops will not be for the guys. And you couldn't really say uniform because a lot of people don't like the way that sounds.
How disappointed are you if you're in the UFC and you get a call from Uncle Dana and he says you're going to be one of the fighters we use to debut our fight kit for the media?
Twitter was a fire.
Okay, and then you show up and you see this shit.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the guys
be disappointed at this, but it depends on what they're going to pay for.
Are they these fighters that are salary? Are they getting paid for this appearance?
They got to believe. Something, right?
No.
It's part of your contract.
I don't know.
It's part of promoting. That's true.
Because you look at that in the contract, you got to go and you got to do and you got to.
I almost guarantee you they had to do it for free. Yeah.
Luke Rockhold had this to say. He goes, I spoke to a couple people in New York, friends of mine, Daniel Cormier, Robbie Lawler. They like the attire. It's very nice. It's very comfortable. It works. However, my worry is the individuality of the sport is gone. Everyone's blending together. The countries, the color variations, everything just blends together. I'm afraid that fighting is going to lose its individuality. It's a combat sport. You see boxing and the flamboyant characters out in their ensembles, their big wardrobes, the walkouts, the stuff. It's part of the game. It's fun. I'm scared that's what we might lose.
It's closed.
It's going to be limited. Is Khabib Nurmagomedov going to be able to wear his wig? Is Tom Lawler going to have his crazy walkouts? That's a huge part. People love seeing that. These characters, that's gone. That's
so we're pretty much guaranteed that King Mo is never coming to the UFC.
Probably not. And he can't wear his crown and his big
cape
unless Reebok's going to make him one.
Yeah.
And what's funny is Twitter, like I said, just went crazy with this thing. First of all, they look like they're, I would say, what is it, like rejects from a sci-fi movie? Like the army that they come out and they all have the same big logo across the front. Like it's like Hunger Games.
Yeah,
the reject season.
The reject season. That's the thing. If I'm watching a movie and I see a whole bunch of dudes come out wearing uniforms that look like this or outfits that look like this, it's like the red shirt in Star Trek. Like I just assume they're all going to die.
Speaking of Star Trek, somebody actually keen to Star Trek uniforms as well as the Power Rangers.
There you go.
I mean, you look at what they're wearing. And you got the huge UFC logo across the front. There's only a couple color variations based on country and based on colors that they want to pick. They get a logo on the side. All the champions wear the same thing. They're all in black with gold lettering and a gold octagon showing that they're a champion. Everybody else is going to have the country's colors. They can't spell flexibility, which was a buzzword that they were putting on the screen.
Oh, my God.
I mean, just everybody is just going crazy with this whole thing. Poor Cain Velasquez walked out. Ben Bothwell says the guy just lost a fight and they make him put that on.
Yeah, that's your penalty, right?
Hey, didn't we run into the same spelling issues and problems with the time is now?
Yes,
thing too?
there was a lot of things that happened. I mean, and if you look at some of the jerseys that were on the official page, now a lot of them have already been taken down, but a lot of them were not. You had guys like Kevin Swanson's going to have his own jersey. You guys know who Kevin Swanson is? That's Cub. Cub Swanson's real name is Kevin, and so they put Kevin Swanson on his jersey.
Nobody calls him Kevin.
No one calls him Kevin.
I don't think his own
Even
mom knows him as Kevin.
Rowdy Beck Rawlings said, "Yo, Reebok, my name is Beck. Only my mother calls me Rebecca. Hers is Rebecca Rawlings."
Really?
Yeah. Tom Lawler. I haven't been announced as Thomas Lawler ever.
Not since I didn't come home when the streetlights came on.
And he says, "No offense, but anyone who pays $95 with a shirt with my name on it on the back, you're an idiot."
Very cool.
You know, a lot of these guys, it just Twitter's just killing it.
Dana White, huh?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't I get one?
A lot of the guys say, you know, they're comfortable.
Hey, I would buy a Dana White.
Misha Tate said the gear was comfortable. She was happy that they took her inputs.
If it says Uncle Dana White, I'm buying it. Or they fuck it up and it would say Dana Uncle White.
You know, like she said, you know, she liked that the inputs they were able to put in. Everything's very comfortable. It's going to be great to work out in and fight in. Again, however, there's no more Cupcake Misha Tate. You're not going to see cupcakes on her stuff anymore. There's no more Affliction shirts she's going to be able to wear and try to sell. All that stuff's out.
And even though she hasn't won a fight in the UFC yet, Felice Herrig always had great
outfits. She can't wear that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this stuff's pretty tight. I still think we're going to see the cupcake on Maisha.
You think it's going to start changing slowly? Because right now this is the first wave, of course, and of course it was very Zoolander. I mean, lots of dubstep music and lights going on. I mean, we got my favorite fighter now in the UFC, Giblert Melendez.
You can't say like you
Is
gotta
that
say
like giblets and gravy?
yeah.
I'm buying a Giblert jersey if I can find a Giblert jersey.
If I could get
And if
one
I
of that
can't,
in
I will
my-
find the ones that they're shipping out to the Africa kids that are dancing.
Look, he would be
all the reject Cavs.
all the Cavs shirts.
All the Cavs shirts they got. They're going to be getting Giblert shirts here real quick.
Giblert.
I mean, they messed up all kinds of names. They messed up. They said Jacare is Jacare's real name, and they put Ronaldo in parentheses as his nickname.
Now Misha, is Cupcake still her nickname on the?
No, it just says Misha Tate.
So why come Jacare can have a nickname?
Because he sometimes goes by Jacare.
Well, they just legally changed his name to Jacare.
Well, they just legally changed Lyoto Machida's name to Mauricio.
Shut up.
Because they apparently got it mixed up with Mauricio Alexandre,
Not
whose
Shogun?
nickname is Lyoto.
Oh my god.
Now, that's where you would make money if you could get.
And you could get Josh Koschek's jersey. Well, you might not be able to now. I don't think it's on the official website anymore. But you could have got a Josh Koschek's jersey, which they announced and showed on the screen, not realizing that he just left.
I mean, why would they even use that as a promo when he's lost 5 in a row?
Because their IT guy don't give a fuck.
Apparently,
apparently he doesn't even know. He don't even watch the MMA.
No, that's the people in the Reebok's the quality control department.
Yeah. So apparently, like I said, I went to their website. A lot of stuff has been fixed, but there's still $85 or $80 to buy these things. They have a giant UFC logo on them. They say the names of the fighters on the back. George St. Pierre's got one.
God, what do these look like? It's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of what it is. But they look like something very.
Hunger
specific.
Games.
I don't even know the next
No,
time
it's
I'll fight.
older than that though.
Rollerball.
It's like something out of the 80s or early 90s.
Oh shit! They look like shit. That's what they look like. That's
Is it rollerball?
Maybe cross colors. That's what cross
That's
colors.
just
You remember cross colors?
Power Rangers?
Closest thing to
Cross
Power
colors.
Rangers that I
It's
can
cross
see.
colors. Don't you remember the cross color apparel?
No.
Look up cross color apparel. I'm telling
Were
you.
your
Look it
pants
up.
backwards? Is that one part of the thing?
No, well,
That was crisscross.
crisscross.
and then make you
Probably
jump.
won't be able to find
jump.
cross color apparel anymore. Nobody makes it. Cross color clothes.
Not jeans.
Not specifically.
There it
jeans.
is.
Look.
There it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
That's what it is.
Not that any of us would.
The Reebok stuff is cross color.
I mean, obviously that's
like
Anderson
that.
Silva.
No, Doc,
I am not going to sit here and admit that I may have had a cross color hooded T-shirt when I was in 8th grade. I did not.
yeah, but you're black. It's okay.
Why are they? Why do
Nobody
they look
knows
like
that.
prison
You're not
uniform?
supposed to say
Why
that.
does that one look like a prison uniform?
I am not touching that. It says
Gotta start somewhere, right?
clothing without
Come
prejudice.
on now.
Clothing without prejudice.
Hey, salt and pepper. Or is that TLC? That's TLC.
Oh man, hey, one of those
my
kids
God.
is doing her own thing. One of those kids ain't part of the gang. She's out.
Yep.
You mean dead?
I'm just saying.
Permanently
There they
out.
are.
Anyway, enough of this tangent.
Lazy eye. Wasn't that one over?
Yeah, she's the dead one.
Poor girl.
Poor girl.
So
Bless her heart.
I mean-
If she didn't have a lazy eye, she wouldn't hit the tree.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
Bless her.
I actually like
lazy eye.
TLC. And that
You know what?
That was a
I
bad
like.
joke on my
Are we
part.
going back to that part? I like how you had it clipped out. It said white people don't need to be preached to.
that's not what it's.
No, I know, but that's what it said.
That's not what it
Is
said.
that
That's
part
what
of the
it said.
discussion?
I know.
Yeah, let's get into politics. Come on.
We'll jump down. So UFC fight. That's all we
I'm
have.
going on eBay to see if I can find some cross-color stuff now.
Are you just gonna put UFC logos on it now?
I'm going to put UFC logos on cross-color shirts.
We'll go to UFC Fight Night, Machida versus Romero, which happened
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yep.
Good event.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Yep.
on Fox
Good
Sports
event.
1 and Fox Sports 2.
That
Or no,
was
Fox
a-
Sports 1, all of it, yeah.
It was a good
Yeah.
event, I gotta say.
They actually did show the whole thing. I was happy.
I didn't start watching till the main card.
All right. You want to get into that?
We want to start at the beginning or just main card?
Go for it.
So we got Sirwan Kakai up against Danny Martinez in the beginning. Sirwan won. Tony Sims also beats Steve Montgomery with a KO.
Yep.
2 decisions in a row. Leandro Silva wins over Luis Gonzalez and Alex Oliveira over Joe Merritt. That's all your prelim card. Heading into your main card now, we open up with a split decision with Harkin Diaz winning over Levon Makshvili. And then Thiago Santos gets an amazing head kick KO over
Great.
Steve
That
Basset.
was cool.
Wow.
That was so
Yeah.
fast. And
Jaw.
so cool.
Shin to the
That
jaw.
was awesome.
Brutal.
Just
Awesome.
dropped
Yeah.
him. And Bosse, he kept his hand down, man. He was trying to do that boxing thing, and it's like, I'm just going to keep it
You
down
keep
here
it
by
under the chin.
No.
You keep it under the chin, you're going to get checked.
Oh,
Good
man.
night, sweet prince.
Yep.
And then Antonio Carlos Jr. went up against Eddie Gordon. This was a rear naked choke submission in the 3rd round, courtesy of Antonio
It
Carlos.
was a nice
Jr.
fight. I was actually,
Yeah, it was okay.
It was back and forth.
And Lorenz Larkin must have surprised you,
Oh my god.
getting that brutal
Everyone's still
TKO.
making fun of his hair.
Yeah, well, of course. Gets a nice TKO over Santiago Ponzibibio. And
Man,
then
I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it
no,
coming.
I mean
That was a surprise, definitely.
I thought he
it'd
looked
be
good coming into the cage though.
Yeah.
You know, his confidence was high and he definitely showed it.
But it was a great switch. You know,
Yeah.
it turned out to be a great
Yeah.
switch. Turned out real well.
And then Yoel Romero just showing the world why he is such a badass and
Just
taking
a
out.
beast.
You know, I was enjoying watching this fight. I was like, wow, this, it's a good fight. I'm enjoying it. And then the second Yoel got him down, I was like, it's over.
That's it.
Just elbows from hell.
Yeah, I was standing up in my living room, and he hadn't even thrown an elbow yet. I said, it's over.
Yep.
My girl was in the living room, and she was like, are you sure? I was like, there's no way Leoto's getting up from this. It's not happening. And then boom, he was done.
I mean, and what did I say? If he can grab a hold of him, it's gonna be bad.
You were 100% accurate on that
Lyoto
one, man.
Machida he's slowing down
right
in his
there.
old age. He's trying to get faster and hit harder, but he doesn't have that elusiveness that he used to have. He does not have that ability to
comes
be
with age. That
a
comes
point
with
fighter.
age.
Yeah, he's just slowing down.
I would think that the thing to concentrate on there for him would be more cardio and conditioning.
Well, we saw the same thing with Chuck Liddell. I mean, obviously, he had a certain point in his age,
Yeah.
and he definitely lost a step, and he was
just
well, he got easier to catch too.
just a
at
slip.
certain
I mean,
point.
look at the one where he fought Rashad. If he would have landed 2 seconds earlier, Rashad would be the one asleep. He was throwing the uppercut. He was
Yeah.
throwing the overhand right. I mean, it was just he just started slowing down so
And-
much that guys were able to get there before he was.
Yeah, and Chuck 5 years before that would have landed.
Would have
first.
landed first. Easily would have landed first. So, and then Yoel Romero ends up yelling out into the cage.
He hates gay people.
Yeah, it wasn't that he hates gays.
That's the one thing that everybody wanted to jump onto, but it wasn't even close to what he said.
He says, "Wake up, USA! Go back, go for Jesus! Don't forget Jesus! No forget Jesus! People." It was very conflicting what he said.
Did they think that he said no?
Other people said they thought he said,
No faggot Jesus?
Go for Jesus, not for gay Jesus people."
Oh, okay. I wasn't trying to be an asshole. I was like, did they interpret that as not faggot Jesus? I don't know.
No for gay Jesus.
No, he was not confused with the bundle of sticks, Jesus.
So a lot
He didn't go all Jerry Maguire like, I love gay people.
He just, it was hard to understand. First of all, obviously, he had apologized afterwards because he said I was misunderstood. He speaks very broken English. He was just trying to say how much he loves Jesus. Dana White came out and said that you need to keep your religion and your politics and all that stuff at home. How do you feel about that? Me and Dennis talked about this a little bit earlier. You know, we had a lot of fighters that would come in and say, first, I want to thank God, or I want to thank Jesus, or whatever. I don't think that's what Dana was necessarily referring to. I think it was because of the misunderstanding, and maybe Dana hadn't heard him apologize yet. He was saying, don't be weighing in on politics while you're fighting here. You know what I mean? Don't be saying stuff about gay marriage, which it wasn't the case, but that's what a lot of people heard.
I agree with the politics thing. There's no reason to have a debate in the ring after the fight's over with. But me not even being a religious individual, go ahead, thank God all you want. I mean, there's no different than when the guys score a touchdown and do the Father, Son, Holy Spirit thing. And
I'm an atheist, thank God.
Thank God.
Did he even care about the gay marriage thing? Did they ask him his?
They didn't ask him. They just kind of went on, and he just talked about the fight. But this is what he started yelling immediately afterwards.
What did it sound like to you? Did you hear it?
I thought it was
pretty unintelligible.
When I hear it from any of these guys at the end of now, I just think it's just like I got to give grace to Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't care what language they say it in. It's pretty much that's how I'm assuming that these guys are bringing it into the ring. Yeah, they give it to God. You know,
I love Cheez-Its.
I love
Yeah,
Jesus.
I mean, that could have been what he said. I mean, it's hard to understand.
What if he said, I love Jesus?
Twitter was a fire again. Chill Sonnen wrote, huh?
I'm not against gay marriage, but I love Jesus.
Michael Bisping said, lost for words.
My neighbor,
CM Punk was one of my favorites. He said, a moment to praise freedom of speech. We all have things we believe. We can say them publicly. Everyone has the right to make fun of us. Everyone said, weird. Keep in mind his tattoos directly violate Leviticus 19:28. That says, so settle down on the political comments. Like, everyone's just saying maybe it's a misunderstanding.
Is this everybody commenting on the gay thing right
yes,
now?
Well, what they thought he said is anyone's like, not sure how anyone could listen to Yoel Romero's post-fight interview without being 100% confident in what he said.
Punk says, I may in fact be gay.
Andre Feely says, everyone has their beliefs. Everyone doesn't need to be up in arms, but we should definitely all have a good laugh at the nonsense.
That's what I was confused about, because I mean it made it to like MSNBC.
Yeah, this was my favorite little string.
It was
right here,
big.
Is Nick Newell says, did Romero say go for Jesus, not gay Jesus? I didn't know there was a gay Jesus, even though I think they should give gay Jesus a chance. Ronaldo Laranja says, I prefer regular Jesus. Gay Jesus may be a lot to handle sometimes. I can only take him in small doses. CM Punk put a picture of himself from the WWE with his long hair and beard and say, I may be in fact gay Jesus.
Gay Jesus is fabulous, though.
I'm all for that guy.
A lot of, like I said, nobody really knows what happened as far as the misunderstanding. He said that's not what he said. He was just saying,
it just
forget Jesus, people.
It kills me because I mean, like we got Technicolor Jesus, we got what's that statue? Big Butter Jesus.
Big Butter Jesus.
Big Butter Jesus, but we can't have gay
baby
Jesus.
I like Buddy Christ. That's my personally
Buddy
my favorite.
Christ.
I got Buddy Christ in my living room.
Yeah, see, I don't know. Maybe it's time for gay Jesus.
He's cool. He's hip.
Do we have hipster Jesus?
But not
down
trans.
with the
I don't want to go hipster Jesus, right?
I don't want to go transgender Jesus.
I wonder what
yet.
Donald Trump thinks of gay Jesus.
I think he
what
thinks
I like
Yoel
to
Romero is going to be his new running mate.
I think it's Occam's razor. It's much easier to believe that he was misunderstood because of his broken English than he went on an anti-gay tirade.
It's just something for somebody to jump on and make,
Well, they're mad because they now that the whole marriage. A lot of them are out of work because the whole marriage thing passed. So they can't even man the phones. They don't have anything else to do. They don't have nothing else to fight for. There's no other equality. They all get to get the crappy thing of marriage that we all have.
You know who really wins in this whole thing?
You fought for it? Now
Divorce
you
lawyers.
Divorce lawyers been big time. I'm glad that I can actually perform weddings, because I can't wait to perform a few of these and charge $100 a pop to be fabulous. You know what I mean? I'll do the gayest wedding you want. Pay me.
Dressed like Elvis.
Also, to chat, Bellator 139. Chet Congo did get his win over Alexander Volkov.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Pat Coran over Emmanuel Sanchez. Any other names you want to mention out there?
No.
No. We're good.
I would just like to say that Joe Schilling got knocked the fuck out in like less than 25 seconds, right?
I think it was a fight before.
Really?
I think.
No. Joe Schilling got knocked out by Cato, right?
By who?
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Did I miss something?
You might be right.
Again, Joey was not paying attention.
Way to go, people.
Yeah. What's happening? You're scrolling too fast.
What are we looking at?
Scrolling down to find fights for you. Right
Background
there.
Bellator.
Oh, yeah.
One for it.
Hisaki Kato, knocked him out with a Superman punch, 34 seconds in the second round.
Holy moly.
Now I have to go back and watch this.
It was big, dude.
I have it recorded. I didn't get a chance
Because
to watch it
remember,
yet.
we were hoping to see Joe Schilling punch him.
Yeah.
No.
No. But I did get to watch The Ultimate Fighter.
Would you buy one of these at a thrift shop?
Is it a Giblet shirt? Is it a Giblet shirt?
Oh my god!
Can I buy a Giblet shirt?
No.
No, I always buy my toothbrushes new.
It depends on how you use it.
It's
Depends
one
on
of
who
those.
it was used on.
What do they call those? Hitachi,
vibrators.
the Hitachi magic wand.
Oh, Hitachi Magic Wand. So if that was Jenna Jameson's, would you buy it?
I'd sniff it.
But you wouldn't buy it? Just put it back on the shelf?
I wouldn't buy it.
You just sniff it, put it back on the shelf?
This is like the super edition, though.
I'd put it in the microwave for a couple seconds.
Is that how she compensated for Tito's head?
Possibly.
That's what it is.
Jesus Christ!
Oh.
All right,
Did you get to watch The Ultimate Fighter?
I did.
And?
A little bit.
I was mad
Why were you mad?
because goddamn Black Zillions keep losing. It couldn't have been scripted more than this.
Do you think it's scripted?
Do I? Starting to wonder.
He's starting to wonder if it's edited, right?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
how you
starting
brought
to
it up
edit.
last week.
I'm
Just
really,
edited.
I'm really wondering if it's edited like this because it's kind of starting to piss me off. I don't know, man.
So we got to see, who do we have? We had Graves, right? Michael Graves.
Yeah, Graves comes back after his bout with alcoholism on the show. Why
Did he go to 24-hour
He
rehab?
must have gone to super rehab.
He just got to hang out at the house. What do you mean?
I don't
Go outside for
understand.
20 minutes and come back in.
I don't understand how this is when they had the opportunity to swap out fighters. They kept Graves, who lost his first fight, and then went into just
A binger.
a drunken binger. Obviously, alcohol puts on a shitload of weight. I know this.
He looked a little bit. He looked a little heavy.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they're like, "No, we're going to keep Graves. He's going to fight our second to last fight for us." And he won, so good.
Wasn't the last one, sir?
Huh?
There's one more fight
The
coming.
second to last one.
Oh, I thought you said the last fight. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You should be. Your goddamn strongboard balance.
Still going.
Still going strong.
Still going. Get on
Done
board,
with
my
that,
friend. Get on
he
board.
could fight Floyd Mayweather.
Keep that in mind, strongboard. If you're listening, that Dodge is in such good shape that he could actually do this whole show, where I would have already fallen off and died.
Without a doubt.
Jason Jackson is the fighter that Graves went against Michael Graves. Now, he was beating him soundly in the first few minutes of the first round. I mean, staggered him backwards, was landing punches. The referee did not stop the fight.
Right.
No, he let it go.
He turtled up pretty good. They said there was a couple blows that were possibly to the back of the head. However, if you look in the slow-mo, he was hitting his hand, who was covering his head. So he's going to punch him here and here. For those of you who are listening by radio. And then what happens? He was able to turn him and get the rear naked choke. Barely able to stand up after the fight.
Yeah, he had to get helped up.
He had to get helped
The
up.
thing was, he did it.
He got helped to a stool. Well, he went by muscle memory. I mean, that's all it really was. Sure,
American
he got
Top
the
Team
choke in, but he
gets-
probably doesn't even know he got the choke in. It was all muscle memory. He probably woke up the next morning going, "Shit, I got to fight today."
You think he was in bell ring mode where everything's just kind of numb?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And I remember screaming at the TV, going, "This fucking fight should be stopped."
Robinson, Glenn Robinson got very upset. He was yelling at him. That fight was fucking bullshit. You guy can't even get up. It should have been stopped. Confronted the referee outside, said, you want to talk about it? You're going to talk about it one day because I'm going to put this on the internet with your picture next to it. This ties up the season.
Yeah, Glenn was pissed. I mean,
And he tried to talk to the commission. He tried to talk to the refs. He tried to talk to the other corner. Nobody really wanted to talk to him. You said you thought it was bullshit. You think it should have been stopped.
I remember yelling at the TV, going, "I can't believe this fight hasn't been stopped yet."
For sure.
Yeah, but
You
you're also
see
the big-
shots to the back of the head like that, some of those angles. But you really look at, even though a guy's in a defensive position,
But is defensive a turtle position? Is that...
Because you're a big proponent of letting it go, usually. That's why I'm surprised that
That's
you're
true,
saying
too.
that it should have been stopped.
To a point, but I think the fact that Graves doesn't even know what happened at the end of the fight, and he still pulled it off. Sure, he gets the win, which is a testament to why it should be go on. Scott Smith, when he fucking knocked out, who did he knock out?
oh yeah. I know.
I forget who he was fighting, but when Scott Smith was done, he was on the ground.
He
was out.
And then he
just
stood up and
just threw
One
a
shot.
overhand right and
and
knocked
still
out his
fell down
opponent.
after he got hit in the liver.
Yeah, he
was an instant
had
shot.
absolutely no shot of winning that fight. He throws an overhand right at the very last second of the round, and boom, knocks out his opponent. And the same thing when he fought Kung Lee.
Yep.
And smashed. Kung Lee was kicking his ass, and he throws a lucky punch out of nowhere. So yeah, I mean, you got to let it go. But I thought Graves was honestly taking too much punishment, which is why I thought the ref should have stopped it. But he obviously still got the win, so good for him on getting the win. I'm not saying it's bullshit like Glenn is, because if you can get the win by any means necessary,
Yeah.
get the win. But I thought he was taking too much punishment, and the ref wasn't doing his job. But I don't want to sit here and say that Graves lost the fight, because obviously
I mean, he choked him out, yeah.
It's a tough one to call when a guy comes back like that after a beating like that and then gets it, and you actually see in all rights, yeah, you're more than likely right. It should have been stopped because taking those shots back.
He was taking, and again, and he stumbled standing up after he choked the guy out. He was still stumbling around,
and he looked like he didn't know where he was at.
No, yeah, he was dazed completely. Took him a while to come back.
That's a real tough call.
So we got a weekend off from fights, but next week we have the
big one, and then of course now we are tied for the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, we didn't say that Money Mendez was the replacement for Aldo.
We did.
Money Mendez
Did
is
we?
the replacement
Chad Mendes,
for Aldo.
I thought we didn't mention that. All right. I mean, we talked about Aldo. I don't remember talking about the replacement. So what do you think about that then, with Money Mendez stepping in?
He has to earn his paycheck now instead of just sitting there and collecting one. That's good for him. I mean, good for the fight fans, right?
Should be interesting.
Now this will now, if Conor McGregor defeats Chad Money Mendez, he deserves the title shot that he talked his way to.
Right.
If he beats Mendez, it will definitely prove everybody that he can go against a wrestler.
Yeah.
I think possibly Frankie Edgar should have fought.
That's what I think too.
I think it would have been a nice fight to have Frankie Edgar against Chad Mendes for the interim title. Obviously, Mendez being the number one contender and Frankie coming off that win. However, Conor did talk his way up to that title shot.
Yeah.
I think Frankie's pretty upset that he didn't get to fight McGregor, and I think that would have been a good fight as well.
I think it would have been a better fight.
However, Mendez is the number one contender. He did just knock out a guy, in his own words, I just knocked out a guy that Aldo took 5 rounds to win a decision to.
And what, Mendez's only loss is to Aldo?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
And it'll bring another belt to Northern California.
Yeah.
So I like
if it happens.
I think Chad Mendes has a very, very strong chance to beat
if he
Conor
comes out
McGregor.
strong
On the ground.
On the ground is what I think. I think he's going to wrestle him. And if he can wrestle him and drag him down, he's going to win this fight. Now,
that's
McGregor,
the only way I see that.
McGregor is going to stand up, and he definitely has the same styles, not exact same style, but stand up that Aldo had. So Mendez is prepared for that. And I think Mendez can get a hold of him and take him down and throw him around a little bit.
It's definitely going to be interesting, and that's just what I was saying this week too. Like, if you look at the people, I don't want to say they're cans because they're not, but the people that Conor has fought to get to where he's at right now,
yes,
none of them are on the same level. Frankie Edgar, as Money Mendez, as
Poirier.
Jose Aldo.
Poirier's the only one that I would say is on that level, and
like
unfortunately
he's on
Poirier,
the cusp.
He got caught,
Right.
and he got knocked out. Now, if this was going to go in good for Conor for catching him and following up to get the referee stoppage, but.
So if he loses,
that's the guy. But the rest of the guys, Diego Brandao,
right.
Dennis Siver, I mean, these are the guys, that I didn't really. Max Holloway was a big name, and he had to go decision with Max Holloway. So again, I don't.
It's going to be interesting.
I don't think he's going to be as easy.
If he loses to Mendez, does he stay in the top 5?
He can stay in the top 5. Let him fight Frankie after that.
That would make sense.
We could see if this happened. We could see the fall of Conor McGregor pretty damn quick.
Yep.
If he I don't want to speculate. Well, yeah, that's what we do. I will speculate. Because he's built himself up to be so huge at this point in time. If he loses to Money Mendez, nobody's gonna. You're gonna lose a few people off the Conor train. But if he loses to Edgar immediately after that, then it's done.
Yeah, it'll fall pretty quick.
Then he becomes a gatekeeper for the top 5 of the division.
Yep.
So it's interesting to see what's going to happen next week.
Yeah.
Because if he would have lost to the champ, to Jose Aldo, then he still would have had a Money Mendez.
Yep.
Yeah, he would have had a Money Mendez fight. He would have had a Frankie Edgar fight.
Yep.
Now he's going to screw himself by getting if he loses to Money Mendez.
He's saying Aldo's not coming back.
Who Conor is?
Conor. That's his big. That's his big argument. This is the fall of Jose Aldo.
But we already know from his camp that he's going to be back as soon as 30 days, almost guaranteed in 60 days.
Yep. Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is with this fight happening now, if he loses to Mendez, because what would happen before, if he would have lost to Aldo, he still would have had 2 more fights. Now, if he loses to Mendez, he's going to have to fight somebody else to get another title fight.
Right.
Yep.
Especially if you get 2 straight in a row losses.
Yeah.
You got to burn up.
So he's got a lot of pressure on him to maintain this. So that wraps it up for this week. Thanks for listening. Gene, thanks for being in. Your fights are
we're working on a new schedule.
Right now,
yeah,
right?
we're working on a new schedule for things coming up because we will make them bigger and better than they've ever been.
So when we have the update on Gene's kickboxing fights, we will.
IKF, right?
IKF.
Did you get that new email yet?
Remember that UFC fight? No, I didn't. The UFC fight being on July 11th. That's my birthday, so remember, send those presents to VooDoo.
What was that email? I think it's pretty long.
Hotmail.com. Team VooDoo USA. Hotmail.com.
/Gene.
1-star fight.
5-star.
5-star fight fuckery.com.
5-star elite championship. See, I even remembered it this time.
VooDooGene at gmail.hotmail.com.
I might just go XYZ.
AOL. So big thanks to Gene for being on the show today. Of course,
guys.
Thanks to Strongboard Balance once again for helping us out.
Awesome product.
Strongboardbalance.com. Get on board.
Just like me.
Change the way you work out. Yeah. Dodge did the entire show on it, but again, like I said, Dodge is in a shape that is not round. So
it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's oval.
You have broken a sweat though.
Yeah.
It's warm in here.
Yeah, I did. Well, it's again.
You have
almost
two and you're
100
sitting
degrees
down.
outside.
I'm fat.
He's got the thighs of calm.
Let's establish this. I'm going to try this after we're done with the show, though. I got to give it a go.
Video.
Strongboardbalance.com. Make sure you check them out. And also mymmanews.com. Make sure you check them out. Tell your friends to get us on Spreaker, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Subscribe on iTunes. Our website, splitdecisionmma.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Split Decision MMA Podcast. Give us a like. Or on Instagram and Twitter. That is SD_MMA. From the Ruloff Family Inc. Studios, it is Bueller and Dodge saying have a good night. We'll see you at the
Flexibility.
Kids.
Just don't break the mic stand.
Testing the flexibility that I can't spell.